going to read you a story called, I know that you kids can read, so I'm going to let you tell me what the title is. Go ahead.
And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street.
On Mulberry Street, and I just found out that Miss Lynch, out of all the books that Dr. Seuss wrote, this is her favorite.
Above the Grinch, I know. Above the Grinch.
Okay. I think she likes a lot more than this one, but this is her favorite. Oh my goodness, Uncle Patrick read this last year in Miss Riley's class. That's his uncle. There's a story behind this, why I chose this one. And you're going to think I'm 100 years old, but I'm not. When I lived in New York, and I was your age, believe it or not, I had to walk 2 miles to school across my town. And the school that I went to was on, what street do you suppose?
Mulberry.
Mulberry Street. It was called the Mulberry Street School. So this is my favorite book. And I'll tell you, the little boy in this book right here, he sees more things going on his way to Mulberry Street. I didn't see quite the same thing. So let's see how he uses his huge imagination. Ready? And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. By who?
Dr. Seuss.
You know what I learned the other day? And I didn't even know this. Mrs. Trott said this was his very first book. And I believe that he had to edit, write his book. He sent it to the book company. They said, no, we do not want your book. Rewrote it, changed some things, sent it to the book company, and they said, we still do not want your book. From what I understand, and I haven't read this for myself, 27 times he rewrote parts of this book before the book company said, we would love to publish your book. So that was a lot of work. A lot of work. So here we go, Dr. Seuss. And you know it's all in rhyme, right?
Yep.
So you are going to help me rhyme, and I'll tell you when. When I leave home and walk to school, Dad always says to me, Marco, keep your eyelids up and see what you can see. But when I tell him where I've been and what I think I've seen, he looks at me and sternly says, your eyesight is much too keen. Stop telling such outlandish tales. Stop turning minnows into whales. Now, what can I say when I go home today? And here comes his journey to school. All the long way to school and all the way back. I've looked and I've looked and I've kept careful track. But all that I've noticed, except for my own feet, was a horse and a wagon on Mulberry Street. That's nothing to tell of. That won't do, of course. Just a broken down wagon that's drawn by a horse? That can't be my story. That's only a start. I'll say that a zebra was pulling my cart. Good job. And that is the story that no one can beat. When I say that I saw it on
Mulberry Street.
Yes, a zebra is fine. But I think it's a shame that such a marvelous beast with a cart that's so tame, the story would really be better to hear if the driver I saw was a charioteer, a gold and blue chariot, something to meet, rumbling like thunder down
Mulberry Street.
Nope, That won't do at all. A zebra's too small. A reindeer is better. He's fast and he's fleet. And it looked mighty smart on old
Mulberry Street.
This is just the beginning of his imagination. Hold on 1 minute. There's something wrong. The reindeer hates the way it feels to pull a thing that's on wheels. He'd be much happier instead if he could pull a fancy
Sled.
A reindeer and sleigh? Say, no one could think of that. Jack or Fred or Joe or Nat. Say, even Jane could think of that. But it isn't too late. It isn't too late to make one little change. A sleigh and an elephant. There's something strange. I'll pick one with plenty of power and size. A blue one with plenty of fun in his eyes. And then, just to give him a little more tone, have a Raja with rubies perched high on a throne. Say, that makes a story that no one can beat. When I say that I saw it on
Mulberry Street.
Such good listeners. But now I don't know. It still doesn't seem right. An elephant pulling a thing that's so light would whip it around in the air like a kite. But he'd look simply grand with a great big brass band. The story is getting bigger. A band that's so good should have someone to hear it. But it's going so fast, it's hard to keep near it. I'll put on a trailer. I know they won't mind if a man sits and listens while hitched on behind. But now, is that fair? Is it fair what I've done? I'll bet those wagons weigh more than a ton. Good job. That's really too heavy a load for one beast. I'll give him some helpers. He needs 2 at least. Uh-oh. But now, what worries me is this. Mulberry Street runs into Bliss. Unless there's something I can fix up, there'll be an awful traffic mix-up. Problem. It takes police to do the trick, to guide them through the traffic's thick. It takes police to do the trick. They'll never crash now. They'll race at top speed with Sergeant McBummy himself in the lead. He's having a ball, isn't he? The mayor is there, and he thinks it's quite grand. And he raises his hat as they dash by the stand. The mayor is there, and the aldermen too, all waving big banners of red, white, and blue. And that is a story that no one can beat. When I say that I saw it on
Mulberry Street.
With a roar of its motor, an airplane appears and dumps out confetti while everyone cheers. And that makes a story that's really not bad. But it still could be better. Suppose that I had a a Chinese man who ate with sticks, a big magician doing tricks, a 10-foot beard that needs a comb. No time for more. I'm almost home. Look at that picture, though. This is all in his mind. I swung round the corner and dashed through the gate. I ran up the steps. I felt simply great. For I had a story that no one could beat. And to think that I saw it
On Mulberry Street.
But, Dad said quite calmly, just draw up your stool and tell me the sights on the way home from school. There was so much to tell, I just couldn't begin. Dad looked at me sharply and pulled on his chin. He frowned at me sternly. From there in his seat, was there nothing to look at? No people to greet? Did nothing excite you or make your heart beat? Nothing, I said, growing as red as a beet, but a plain horse and wagon on
Mulberry Street.
So did he tell his dad all about his big story? No. He just went right back to the horse and wagon.
And he's at like the beginning, he's like, you gotta stop imagining, but he keeps doing it, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's right. His imagination was that big, and then it kept getting bigger and bigger. He kept thinking and thinking. It's awesome to use your imagination. Some of it's true, and some of it's not. Most of it's not. Just keep on going. Use your imagination. So that is the story of a school that I went to when I was your age. And that's why it's my favorite. I lived in New York. I did. Until I was 12 years old.
I thought that you lived in like,
Nope. And I have to tell you, I am so impressed of all the characters you are in your favorite book. You really went to town dressing up today. That was really cool. I need to give you a round of applause. That was really nice. Including your teacher. I've never seen so many kids dressed up. I thought it might be trick or treat and I didn't have anything to hand out. So thank you.
Boys and girls, what do we say to Mrs. Leahy?
thank
We have a thank you card coming in
Oh,
today.
how polite. Oh, look at my card. Look at the ribbon.
Thank you, Sean.
Wait a minute. Can I just open it real quick? I think I see some little words inside. Oh, I can read. Can I read it? May I read it? I would thank you here or there. I would thank you anywhere. I would thank you on a boat. I would thank you with a goat. In the park or the zoo. Oh, how sweet. Thank you. And you all sign your name. I think I need to keep this in a special spot at my house. Thank you.